There's a compromising. Oh, here's that. And here are the uncompromisingly saved. When a person is a compromising person, this is what he does. Watch on for the show. It's not that what you said to that person may or may not be true. You don't know. Yeah. But because that person compromises, he wants to be the friend of the unsaved, yeah, and the friend of the uncompromisingly saved. Yeah. But it don't work that way. He wants to go with the saved, and his conversation to the saved is usually about the uncompromisingly saved. He thinks he all that. But child, look, I know something about him. And I'm going to let you know. So I'm going to tell you just exactly. Big church folk. Yeah, church folk. Come on, y'all. I said church folk. So I'm going to tell you. And so he receives that because he's unsaved. Yeah. Now, the uncompromising chance of bringing him to Christ are damaged. They're gone. Hello, somebody. Now listen to this. Now the uncompromised has did the damage. Now you're going to church. Come on now. Come on. Child, you know, I was hanging out the other night with a friend of mine, and I just mentioned Bishop's name. And I just started saying some stuff, and they ain't gonna never come to church. But the compromising saved response to that is, why did you say anything to him? Wow. That's right. Yeah. If you were witnessing to him, what was your witness? Yeah. Now watch the compromise. I see. I went over to the church and I tried to talk to them and they would. Because what he's carrying, whether it's true or untrue, does not give him the right to carry it. That's right. That's right. Amen. What somebody says to you in confidence, that's right. You showed your trust by betraying it to the other person you chose to betray it to. That's right. Amen. Thank you. Now let me show you what the word says. Anybody get what I'm saying? Amen. This is some of the fast stuff again. Watch this. Everybody say it's going on. It's going on. Because I got a whole Bible full of notes. There ain't none of this on the notes. Watch this. Holy Ghost, use something else. Verse 7. And the peace of God, which passeth all understanding, shall keep your hearts and minds through who? Christ. Finally, brother, y'all underline this. Whatsoever things are true, whatsoever things are honest, whatsoever things are just, whatsoever things are pure, things are lovely, whatsoever things are of good report, if there be any virtue, and if there be any praise, think on these things. Now, exactly what does he say? He said this. If there's any virtue, whatever you know, if there's any virtue and excellence, if there's anything worthy of praise, if anything is worthy of praise, think and weigh and take account of these things. Fix your mind on things worthy of praise. Oh, Lord. Simply put, if it's not worthy of praise, why talk about it? Right. If what you say does not edify, why talk about it? Right. I told a young preacher one time, every time he came around me, he started talking about preachers. And I said, man, the last thing you want to do is talk about preachers. Amen. I said, you're a preacher yourself. And every time you open your mouth, you talk about another preacher. I said, that you should not do. Because the word still says, touch not mine. Now let me show you this. It's not your call who's anointed. That's not your call. Amen. Touch not mine. Now do mine. Do mine. No. The words you say do prophets harm. Yes, it does. The things you do prophets harm. I don't know why the Lord got me teaching this morning. It must be for the house. Amen. Because it's time. The way I turn my situation around is when I change my conversation. Amen. So what somebody did you wrong? Matthew Scott, you tell a story all the time. We were standing outside Bishop College after one of the Bishop College events up there, and this preacher had preached, and he totally bombed out. And all us educated preachers standing outside the chapel talking about how he'd go on the Flunkersville. And I mean, we was laughing, just really putting this preacher down. Everybody said I was a young preacher then. I was a young boy preacher. And Dr. Matthew Scott walked out, heard us talking, stood against one of the pillars of the chapel, did his suspenders like this. The boy had a good text, had a good subject. And for about 5 minutes, Dr. Scott elaborated on his subject and his text. After about 5 minutes, the preachers, including myself, were shouting on the step. Dr. Scott backed up off a little hoop, and he said, the same thing I heard was in there for you to hear. My God, my God. Just like I passed it on to you, you can pass it on to somebody. Because what you pass it on is not what should be passed on. Amen. Y'all listen to what I'm saying. It's not that there's never something negative to say, but can you raise something that's worthy of praise? Can you lift up something worthy of praise? Everybody here got something negative to say about something, but can you say something? I've seen situations turn around because I found something to say that was worthy of praise. That's good. Oh God. Turn back to Isaiah. Yep. Oh my God. Isaiah was a young prophet. At the age of 16, he was called to the throne. He reigned 52 years. Isaiah had done a lot for the king of Judah. Uzziah had done much for Judah. Uzziah was well respected. They had their dependence on Uzziah. Uzziah, nobody did anything without coming to Uzziah. The Judah, watch this, was prospering materially. Yes. But spiritually, Judah was dying. Yes. And that's because Uzziah had his way of doing things that had nothing to do with God's agenda. They were a prosperous country. But Uzziah, even being the king, was standing in the way of somebody. There's some Uzziahs standing in folks' way. When you talk about folk, you become an Uzziah. Standing in somebody's way. No matter what you become an Uzziah, sometimes our family members are Uzziah. He said that in the year that Uzziah died, in the year that Uzziah died,